That's not making fun of PEI. But yeah. We should be leaving out here, right? Yeah. But just because, you know, like I said, you got 50 states, you got more places to be forgotten. It would be that way. It would be weird if Canada had 50 provinces. You'd have a lot of, like, this province has 40 people. Either that or all the provinces would be in, like, Ontario and, like, southern Quebec and Alberta and BC. It's all the provinces. It would be like the counties in Ontario. She's not 100 years old. She's like clearly like I'm letting him pull. That's why I stopped. How old is the queen? Imagine not liking the queen. Well, she's old. I don't know what else to say. Max Sabbath died. Seriously? Holy hell, she is old. Yeah. To be honest, Canada does not pay attention to much of the stuff that she does. Like, don't get me wrong, like, we pay attention in a tabloid sense to what's going on, but we don't, like, pay attention. The queen isn't, like, she's, like, a head of state, but she's not a head of state, right? It's not like she really does much. Why? All the people... Other than, like, Barack Obama and Kennedy, that would pretty much, like, knock out every single one of your presidents ever, right? Because, like, 90% of politicians are over... By the time they get to be that big, right? Are 60s and older. And then you got, like, people like Trump who are, like, 70 plus. And Biden and Reagan who are, like, 75. Someone voted, right? If you don't like the old guy, don't vote for the old guy. And then you know, probably don't vote. In the States, you only have two people, and last election would be old guy 1 versus old guy 2, right? At least in Canada, we have Trudeau. And others. Because he's not the only younger one. We have the NDP guy. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it that are relevant. Hey, what you doing, Mo? You gonna come cuddle? I need a cuddle cat. I got 5 minutes till my dungeon queue pops. I need a cuddle cat, Moo. You're a Moo. Oh, you're cute. You're cute. Gotta come a little closer, Moo. Yeah, you're gonna whine. You're gonna whine. Oh, you're a silly cat. Pretty much. Yeah. Or how many asses you can kiss to get money. Hey, how many cats you can get the support of? You'd run for office, Sydney, eh? You'd run for office in the Meal Party. The Moogle Party. Eh? Good girl? You're kind of making it hard to get pats because you're directly behind me. You're directly behind me, little girl. You're directly behind me. Like, she doesn't want pats. But she's here purring like she wants. You're a butthead, you're a butthead, you're a butthead. And I love you because you're a butthead and you're cute. She just wants attention. And she's goofy. Yep, she wants to play. She was in the other room meowing earlier. Wants to play. You had your mousey mouse. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, it takes, I guess it takes time. Like, it makes no sense in a way because you would want new ideas from, like, the population's point of view. Most people, like, it seems, kind of want new ideas, but at the same time, the people who vote are older people who just want to vote for, like, continuation of the same. Right? Because most people who are in their 20s, or I don't want to say most, a lot of people who are in their 20s don't vote. They should. Should vote. Voting is good. I will be voting in like 21 days. 21? Holy shit, it's already been like 9 days. Yeah, because September only has 30 days, right? Me, Sydney, what party are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote for the kitty party of Canada? The kitty party? The KPC? You're a goofy girl. You're a goofy girl. A goofy girl party, that's what it is. Goofy little cat girl. The cat girl party of Canada. Where everyone's an anime cat girl. That would get so many votes. The waifu party. Ah, those are nails. Fair enough. Fair enough. With the United States, it's a little bit different because you only really have two people to vote for. So two opinions is kind of like crappy, right? Because if you don't like one and you don't like the other, who are you really going to vote for? Where in Canada we have like a bunch of different opinions or people. It's not just opinions, but parties. Lots of parties. Lots of kitty parties. Lots of kitty parties. Well, yeah, there are other folks, but it's not like, you know, the Communist Party of the United States is ever going to get in, right? The Communist Party or the Libertarian Party or any of those guys. The Goofy Kitty Party. The Goofy Cat Party. Goofy kitty, goofy kitty. She's purring very loudly right now while I'm doing this, so she likes it. She likes the attention. She likes the attention. She likes it. Yeah, that's kind of like the problem with the way the states do it because it is the most money. It's not like in Canada where the money's capped. So you can only spend like 50 million, I think it is. So, which still is a hell of a lot of money, but at least it's not like in the States. Like if it was like in the States, you might see a bunch of other parties pop up. Right? Because if the Libertarian Party could get $50 million, they'd have as good of a chance as anyone else. Yeah, pretty much. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that you're gonna need some party funds and stuff like that to, like, do some things. But, yeah, I still think $50 million is a bit much. I think it should be, like, 10. Depending on how long it goes. Oh yeah, actual proof. That's never gonna happen, right? Is Carbuncle here? No, Carbuncle's not here. Carbuncle. Carbuncle is the greatest. It'd be nice if they had to do that, but you know that's not. It's not wholly his fault, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not really too versed with what happened, but it is also partially the leader of Afghanistan's fault for running away. I don't know, it's kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't things, because how long do you want to spend money on policing another country? True, true. Oh yeah, the death toll is gonna be crazy there. Like it's sad, but it's, you know, it was kind of, they pulled out really quickly, or at least it seemed really quickly because I didn't hear anything about it, and then all of a sudden it just exploded. Again, I don't pay attention to politics that much, other than if it's like right before an election. Are we going in here? Yeah. But it's kind of the problem of who else do you vote for, right? Like, yeah, we totally did not need to come in here. Why did we come in here? That was just killing two things for the sake of killing two things. 10 out of 10, Blizzard. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, that whole area, I guess you could say. Or that whole thing. It's one of the most volatile regions in the world. And it's just crazy. An enemy approaches. An enemy approaches. It's John Cena. Fair, yeah. Like I said, it seemed like it was just an immediate thing, so I can agree with, like, not doing it that quick. Like, it should have been slowly over time so they could build up a force that was needed to take out the enemy. And, you know, everything would have kind of, like, worked out better. Because, yeah, you don't want to police another country forever. There comes a time when it's like, okay, you have to do things for yourself. But, yeah, it's... to immediately walk away is also not the right thing. Yeah. You guys are only level 16. Oh my god. This is like low level stuff pretty much. Which way are we going? Michael Cross Fury. Follow Michael Cross Fury. Well, yeah, even if he, like, gave some warning, it wasn't enough to get, like, the amount of people who are trying to get out, to get them out. Treasure! We got pants. How come it's all warrior stuff? I am unhappy, Blizzard. Or Disciple of War stuff. It's not warrior stuff, but yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I still remember some of that shit. That was insane back then. I haven't done that in, like, years. I still have the newspaper from the day after. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's somewhere. Ooh, earrings. Ooh, Disciple of Magic. I need that, but I'm gonna greed both of them. I rolled a 99, so I should be getting it. Yeah, I got it. Cool. Yeah, another piece of gear, another piece of gear. I got more pieces of gear. I've been more watching a lot of like World War II stuff, but then again that's kind of like what I always watch. I've brought that up a bunch of times, so it's not like that's like some special thing that's like new. Oh, you are? Okay, one sec. Once this kill's done. There you is. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I have joined a voice chat. It'd be funny if I just joined a random voice chat and was like, Brian, are you there?
Hello?
There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. What was that, Verizon? Back in the day? Or was it Nokia? Or it was some old...
Yeah. I hate this information. They got old so quick.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
And even at... And even, they tried to make they tried to variety it up, but it was just still the same old shit. It was so annoying. Changing the location he's in does not make it fun.
Or the Mentos commercial. Mentos, the French maker. Yes, because you only can do certain things after eating mints. There we go.
But yeah, Russia apparently has offered to bring like as many planes as they need into Afghanistan to evacuate people.
That's crazy.
I think Russia's just trying to start something.
Well, yeah. Part of it's like, well, the U.S. isn't gonna, so we can, like, beat the U.S. at something, you say.
It wouldn't take much for them to go over there and just take over Afghanistan if they really wanted to. But they've tried to do that
I was
before.
gonna say, they tried that in the 1970s and 80s, and that didn't go well.
But they're a lot bigger and more advanced now than they were in the 70s.
Who, Russia or?
Russia.
I don't know, they were pretty advanced for the times back then. They were the USSR. Soviet Russia. Oh, kitty girl leaving.
I was watching a video where he was comparing all the dictators in history and the deaths that they've caused, be it of their own people or others. Can you guess who was number one?
Stalin.
No, Stalin went.
Stalin would be pretty high up on the list, though.
I think he was number 3.
It'd have to be like Stalin, Hitler, probably Mao's up there.
Yeah, Mao was number 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say Stalin, Hitler, Mao would be probably my guess is 1, 2, 3. Or
Good old
Hitler's.
China.
Well, yeah, they. Yeah. It happens. Dictatorship's gonna dictatorship.
Though personally, I don't believe that Stalin should have been number 3. I think he should have been ahead of Hitler, to be honest. Just because of all the millions that he killed of his own people. Literally just went and got them inmates out the... I know you know all this, because
I was actually watching something a little bit ago about the how it was before the Second World War. They actually had like an island in Siberia. They basically dumped people, and basically it was Cannibal Island.
Well, I've heard stories about how after the war ended, there was literally no way they could count every single body to take up the total count because there were just that many.
Yeah.
But one day, one of the villages over there, their river overflowed or something similar to that, and bodies came piling up out of the bottom of the barge or the water. There was nothing but dead bodies piled under that river.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as and no sooner than that they started popping up, KGB showed up. So that alone tells you that they was just dumping bodies wherever they wanted to because they told the people tie shit to their feet and put them back down in the river. They're military deserters.
Yeah, that whole... I'm out of that, right? I think I'm out of that.
And then obviously what I was talking about, I know you should know about this. You know how he was pulling inmates out of prison and throwing them into the front line as basically meat shields.
Yeah, I forget exactly what they called them, but yeah, that was...
Yeah, I was trying to think of that word. Yeah, I can't think of that word. It went around for so long.
But yeah, he was pretty crazy. Like, the only reason he's thought of higher than Adolf is because he won the war. Right? That's it. If he didn't win the war, they would have, like, exposed him for being as bad as he was, but history's written by the victor. I already have that. You got thigh boots.
Oh, cannon fodder or whatever. That's what it was. They were basically cannon fodder. They were promised if you do this war, it'll free you. But the joke's on them was because they knew that they weren't going to live it. And if they did live it, they weren't ever going to probably be able to either walk or move things again because odds are they're going to be missing body parts. A very fucked up scenario.
Yeah.
Hey, Hitler did his own sadistic shit. Hell, even Mussolini and Japan's emperor at the time,
Well, everyone kind of did shitty stuff during that time. Like, even look at what the U.S. was doing as well. Like, they were committing war crimes. They were putting people in concentration camps that had never done anything wrong. Like,
Yeah. It's the same with the British.
like it was really pot called kettle black. Like,
Well, basically, Japan went and pissed on the hornet's nest, and then the hornet's nest went and pissed on Japan.
yeah. Which way are we going over here?
You know that my great grandmother was in Pearl Harbor when that happened.
Oh wow. My grandfather was he was in the army, but he wasn't called over, and like he was gonna go over, but the war ended. I believe it was he was gonna go over to the, like, I don't know where in like Pacific Theater, basically. I don't know about my other relatives, but yeah, I know there was a bunch of him and his brothers in the war.
Because it ain't really that far away from us, where I live. So, I think Ma had said she went down there to visit a relative or something that was staying there, and then all the bombs started going off and shit.
Yeah, that would be terrifying. Just imagine. Like,
I imagine, I imagine it would be.
I'm
Anyway,
trying to think, like, right now, random thought. What do you think would be more terrifying, a hurricane or that? Like a Category 5 Katrina type hurricane? Or being in, like, Pearl Harbor, like the army base while that's happening? Would you rather? Which one?
Probably would rather be in the army base.
Yeah. The destruction
Because
afterwards wouldn't be full of floods, is what I'm thinking, right?
And I can't swim worth a shit, so.
So,
It's an easy choice for me. I can't swim worth a shit, so I'd rather take the bombing than the drowning.
like, both of them would be crazy, but that, yeah.
The bombing will probably be instantly death anyway, so.
Fair, fair, to an extent, but
Especially if it hits you right on, like, right in the building you're in, you're definitely doomed.
yeah. Unless the building you're in is like, whatchamacallit, a boat. And then it's just sinking, and, you know, if you can swim, you can...
Well, that would be the joke for me because I would never be on a boat, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
I'm sure if you were in the Navy, though, they would make sure you know how to, like, swim. That would be the most ironic thing ever, right? You join the Navy, get through all the way training, and they're like, oh, you don't know how to swim?
I knew a guy that I worked with named Trey. I think I've probably mentioned that name to you before, but he used to work at Beef Brady's with me, and he was in the Navy. I asked him one time, he said, I heard stories back in the day, like way before your time, back in World War II, when my great-grandfather was in the Navy. It was, I don't remember if he was in the Navy, but he was in World War II.
Okay.
That the Navy would find out, if the Navy found out that someone aboard their ship could not swim, they would throw you overboard at that time. And either you would learn how to swim or you would drown.
Fight or flight. That's shitty, but, you know, causing a bunch of deaths to your own people for no apparent reason, but I guess in a way it makes sense. You're gonna die if the thing explodes and you're not there, so... Or you don't know.
I think they would have rescued you, but they would wait until the very last minute possible to rescue you, so... You're already going through the fucking trauma of it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you lived, but you just got fucked up in the head for probably the rest of your life. Like, I have a cousin that was in the Navy. He's perfectly fine now that he's out of it. He got married, had kids.
We're going back to back to back with dungeon. We did Sistacha, then we did Tamterra, now we're getting Copperbell. Back to back to back.
Now, here's another question for you. You wanted to ask me one of them type of questions, so here's a question for you. Would you rather be in a plane that's about to crash or trapped in underneath the whole amount of avalanche in the mountains?
So, are you saying die in a plane crash or die in an avalanche?
No, it's not guaranteed you die in either. But if you had to deal with either one, which one would you rather deal with? Would you rather be crushed under snow or crash in an airplane?
Crushed under snow, because there's a chance that you're not falling from great heights with a fire. Right? Because you're going to be in a fire. And with the plane crash. Because plane's going to explode when it hits the ground.
Well, it depends though. See, I didn't say anything in particular. I just said a crash. So you could have just taken off and then landed back on the ground, technically.
A crash, though, insinuates that the plane is going to be in many pieces.
It also depends on the pilot, because a good pilot can crash and break a plane, but it won't explode.
Because if you're assuming, like I am, that the crash is like you're falling from like hundreds of thousands of feet up and all that type of stuff, then yeah, 100% I would rather be in an avalanche, because then there's at least a chance that you could survive throughout that, like, easier, right? You're not going to be in an explosion, you're not going to all that type of stuff. And I don't know how I want to say that, depending on how bad the avalanche is, it might not be too hard to get out. I've never been in an avalanche, but, you know.
There's videos online that you can look at that shows people who are skating, or not skating, but snowboarding, and then they get buried under not even that much snow, but that little amount of snow is enough to suffocate them.
Yeah, like.
But the thing is that there's certain things you can do when you get into snow. Like, they tell you if you ever get in an avalanche or trapped under snow, spit. And if the spit comes back and hits you in the face, you know you're facing down. So you need to turn over and then dig.
That is a very, yeah. It's common sense, but it's not common sense people would think of, right?
You would never think, oh, I need to spit on my face right now when I'm trapped under.
Yeah, especially I'm under like possibly like 15 feet of snow. I'm gonna spit on myself right now. But yeah, then it does make sense. It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Because they say to do that though, because that's why they always say you never should panic in that scenario, because that'll kill you more than anything else.
Yeah, because you're suffocating, and then you're starting to hyperventilate and all that type of stuff.
You're panicking. You're under the snow, and then you start digging down. You're just putting yourself under more snow without even realizing. That's like going into quicksand and then trying to swim down into quicksand instead of trying to pull yourself out of the quicksand.
Oh, I already had my carbuncle out. Never mind, I didn't see carbuncle. But yeah, it's one of those things you don't really think of, but that is a smart thing. I never would think, okay, we'll spit and see which way it goes. I don't want to be part of a low-level thing. No way! I'm gonna go get the Aetherite crystal first, just because we may have to come back here sooner or later.
Yeah, I
And
watched a lot of these survival shows, and there's a lot of things you never really think about when you're out there dealing with crazy ass shit like that. Because people like to say they're fake and stuff, but they still teach you what to do in scenarios if
well,
you ever
yeah, it's
find
not
yourself
like
into
it's
one.
Ted Bear or something ridiculous like that, right? Like, I don't know if you watch Cyanide and Happiness, but Ted Bear is like the greatest.
Yeah,
It's
that
Aaron
guy, yeah,
Hansen. It's Aaron Hansen. He voices Ted Bear.
yeah.
I you're speaking of things that you like rewatch every so often. Ted Bear is like 2 or 3 times a year, faithfully, just because it's like so funny.
Yeah, I've watched it several times.
Ted
He
Bear's
fakes it.
legendary.
I like the one where he faked his death and he's in the coffin and then he
Yeah,
comes back to life.
yeah. And then he's all how to survive in like a city, and he's like mooning people and
Dun-
shaking his butt in order to scare them away and stuff like that. Oh,
dump- Dumpster diver.
yeah. But yeah, for the longest time, I didn't know that was Aaron Hansen. One of those things that when I figured that out, it was like, oh my god, how did I not like place his voice with that character? Because it's totally Aaron Hansen. He's not even really doing that different of a voice from himself.
Man, he has done so much shit over the years. You know how much shit he's done on New Ground back when New
Oh
Ground
yeah,
was big?
yeah. Because yeah,
Like,
and then yeah, basically, and then he was in Rick and Morty and different other things.
he was in Rick and Morty?
Yeah, he was season what was it, season 1 or 2 finale. He was one of the characters in it. The
What?
one the wedding. He was like one of the receptionists in the wedding.
Oh, okay.
Just like a
Well,
waiter
with
type
the
person.
yeah, that's probably why I didn't really even put it together. I've watched that episode. That's the one with the damn little cat thing, marrying the undercover spy or whatever the
Yes,
hell.
yes, yes, that one. Uh, yeah, basically he was one of like the random waiters came up to him and said, "You need something" or something like that. It was just like a 1 or 2 line bit. But yeah, he
It kind of reminds me of like a lot of these movies where they just have huge stars, not really trying to compare somebody like I don't know who's a huge star. That would be like Leonardo DiCaprio playing a 2 second side character in a movie
cameo
that
cameos happen, right?
yeah, but if say it's similar to that in that aspect because they're only on screen for 2 seconds, you don't really even pay it any mind, and then you go back
True.
and you watch it a bunch of times, and you're like, wait a minute, that's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Wait a second. That's Michael Jackson. Oh my God! I didn't notice that. Yeah.
I heard a funny story about Michael Jackson in one of Mike Tyson's interviews. It was back when he was like Mike Tyson had just started getting big. His career was really taking off. He had went to one of Michael's shows, and Michael was out back in the back signing stuff for people, and then he was waiting on his car to pull up in the back to leave. And Mike walks up to him and says, "Hey." And Michael turns around and is like, "Your face looks familiar. Don't I know you from somewhere?" And Mike Tyson looks at him and says, "No, you don't know me. I'm nobody." And Michael says, "Oh, okay." And just gets in his car and leaves.
That's kind of amazing that at one point Mike Tyson would have been like, "Yeah, I'm a nobody." Like, I'm not saying he's like the most like
Well, the thing
self-absorbed
is,
person, but yeah,
at the time he said that, he was a huge deal. Even now, that's the one thing about that man. He might be like he's portrayed in the ring as a barbarian, basically.
well,
You
he
could call him
is.
that.
He's savage enough to bite someone's ear off. Like, come on.
But out of the ring, he's the most calm and nice person you've ever met.
Well, yeah.
As long as you don't piss them off, obviously.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's common sense with anybody. Don't piss somebody off.
Well, yeah, and then if they're like an MMA fighter or a boxer, you even want to less tick them off. Or like Marty McSorley in his heyday. Let's go like poke the bear, right?
It's like walking up to Muhammad Ali and slapping him in the face and not expecting him to hit you 4 times before you can blink.
Yeah, that's one of those things that like the amount of money you'd have to like give to me in order to like Muhammad Ali in his like prime to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go up to him and smack him. Like that would be a lot of money.
No, it would be no money I probably would take for that. That would be the one kind I heard. Look, I could totally do it,
Really? You
but
just do it?
the brain damage would not be worth it.
Oh, you just say
Because
no, no matter what. Okay. I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that's like, being
if
able
I
to
was
say
gonna
you
do
got
it,
knocked out by Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali or something like that would be amazing.
but nobody would ever believe you, and because odds are back then nobody would be recording you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And even then, would you want to be known as the guy who walked up and slapped Muhammad Ali and then got your ass handed to you in two
It would.
seconds?
I was gonna say it would just take like one punch. Like that's all you would. It would be over before it started. And I don't even think
Odds are,
I don't think he would throw
odds.
that punch though. I think it would be one of his bodyguards.
I don't think you would land the punch anyway. I don't think either of us would land a punch on him. That
Fair.
man was insanely fast.
Well, not just that. He has an entourage, right? I'm pretty sure his entourage would get to you before you got to him. They'd be like,
Like
"Why the hell are you walking up to Muhammad Ali?"
That's the little small
I'm
man
gonna
getting
go
carried.
punch him. Excuse me, and tap the bodyguard on the shoulder. Can I punch Muhammad Ali, please?
You know what? I actually back then they probably would have said, "Sure, kid, go ahead," because I knew you was about to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah, you're gonna
They're like,
be
"Hey,
knocked
hey,
out
hey,
five
Jerry, hey,
times
hey,
before you
Jerry,
hit the
hey,
ground.